Hey everybody, it's Craig with ClipScribe. Today we're talking about the Shaka, or many of you might know of this as the hang loose symbol. It's a symbol seen all over Hawaii. It is native to Hawaii, and you see surfers use it a lot. But if you're in Hawaii, you see everybody using it. And I want to talk to you about the origin story about this and how does this apply to creating social media video content, okay? The Shaka is a hand symbol that looks like this. You see the emoji here. You probably might have used that emoji on your phone. And again, we all know of this symbol as something cool from Hawaii that surfers do. But I didn't even realize that there was a really cool origin story to the Shaka. My wife told me the other day. I was baffled by this because I just thought it was a symbol that, was a Hawaiian symbol. I had no idea why people do this. So back in the day, in the early 1900s, there was this guy named Hamana Kalili. And Hamana Kalili was this guy that worked at a sugar cane farm or plantation rather. And one of the things that he would do at the sugarcane plantation is he would use a sugarcane presser that would squeeze the juice out of the presser. And so what Hamana did one day on accident is he got his hand caught in this sugarcane presser, and it took off his 3 middle fingers, okay? So that's how he got his hand to look like this, right? So after this happened to him, well, he needed a new job. So he got a job as a security guard at this place where these kids would come and they would vandalize, they would cause trouble. And so when he had this job, he would yell at the kids, he'd wave his arm at them and tell them, to get out of here, doing his security job the right way. Well, the kids noticed this. They noticed this hand gesture. And of course, kids are going to be kids. They would emulate it. And what's funny is they would use it as a symbol to let each other know when Hamana Kalili was coming for them. So this was like their secret hand sign, like, hey, here he comes, and they do the symbol. And so that's the origin story behind the symbol. And apparently he eventually went on to lead music at his church, and people remembered him doing this symbol as well as he was, leading the choir or whatever. So this symbol, this guy had this terrible thing happen to him that basically was a deformity for him, has made him famous all over the world. Even though most people don't know who he was, his legacy lives on because of that very unique hand that he had. And so when I heard that story, it really made me think about just being ourselves. And that was the thing I really started thinking about creating video content, is how important it is to be yourself. So there are 3 things that I thought about, but that was the number 1, which is you should not let others determine whether or not you should be yourself. And especially when you're putting yourself on video content, you're putting yourself on social media, maybe you're a business owner, and a lot of times you can have these ideas that, I need to be a certain way. I need to act a certain way on camera. I need to maybe tone down this part of my personality or amp up this part. I'm not really this. I want to amp this up. And these are the things that go through our heads. And a lot of times we don't present ourselves to our audiences the way that we really are. But it was this guy just being himself that allowed his legacy to continue. Just imagine if he hid his hand when he was yelling at those kids, or he was afraid he didn't use that hand when he led at his church. There would be no impact. Nobody would be doing this anymore. The reason it was called a Shaka was a car salesman in Hawaii around the 70s would do it at the end of his car commercials, and he'd go, Shaka, brah. And so that's where the name Shaka came from. Look at that, I'm doing double. I don't even realize I'm doing double Shakas here. That's where the Shaka name came from. So eventually TV spreads it out, everywhere else. And that's a legacy this guy had because he wasn't afraid to just go with it and be himself. And I think, the people that have the most influence online many times are the people that are just themselves. And they have influence sometimes because people don't like them. They don't like them to be themselves, but they still watch them because it's fascinating when somebody is themselves. Another thing we can learn from Hamana when it comes to creating social media video content is that you should be brave, okay? Be brave. The trolls are always going to be there, okay? The people making fun of you are always going to be there. There's always going to be a critic out there, just like those kids were kind of making fun of them and doing a symbol. But sometimes the trolls actually carry your story farther than you realize. And we've seen that many times. They say no press is bad press. There obviously is truth to that. But don't be afraid of other people and don't let them make the decision for you to put yourself out there, to put your authentic self out there, okay? And the last thing we can learn from Hamana is to be patient. This was not an overnight success story, right? And some would argue that it's not even really a success story for him because he never really got to see his fame, but it did happen eventually. And creating social media video content is not a sprint. It is definitely a marathon. And I say to people all the time, just be consistent. That's the most important thing, is just be consistent. It's hard to do. I know it's hard to do. It's hard for me to do. But if you can be consistent over time, your audience will begin to find you and your influence will begin to multiply. And there are people that are going to connect with you. Whether or not you're somebody that has a broad appeal or a more narrow appeal, you're going to find your audience. And if you have a more narrow appeal, you're going to have a more rapidly loyal audience because of your uniqueness and because, you're going to find those people out there that resonate with you and who you are. So I just wanted to share that with y'all because I thought it was a really cool and inspiring story. And encourage you to go out there, be yourself, be authentic, do something every time you make a video that might make you feel a little bit comfortable, but it's who you truly are, and make an impact, okay? Everybody, thanks for watching. It's Craig Lillard with ClipScribe. Check us out at clipscribe.com. If you need help creating video content that grabs attention in the feed and expand your influence, ClipScribe can help you do that. And also, if you sign up and do a free trial at ClipScribe, we'll give you a free membership to 100 stories, which gives you 100 video content, story-based ideas. They work with any industry because they're based on you and your story, and everybody loves a good story, just like the story that we learned about today about the Shaka guy. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I look forward to see you on another video.